When you're hungry, you don't let anything pull you away from what matters most. Hunger creates a laser-like focus that doesn't bend or break when distractions show up. Think about it. When you're truly starving, you're not scrolling through your phone wondering what to eat. You're not playing around with options. You're locked in on one thing: food. You're searching, you're moving, you're doing whatever it takes to satisfy the hunger. And that's the exact same way success works. If you're only interested, you'll let little things take your attention. Hit attention. If you're just curious about being great, the smallest inconvenience will make you put it off until later. But when you're hungry, when your stomach is growling and your soul is starving for that goal, you don't hear the noise. You don't see the distractions. You don't feel the fatigue. Hunger creates focus, and focus creates results. The reason so many people never get what they want is because they're distracted by things that don't even move them closer to their dreams. They spend hours watching TV shows, following drama online, comparing themselves to people who don't even know their name. And while they're doing that, time is slipping through their fingers. Hunger doesn't allow that. Hunger is the reminder that every second counts. Hunger whispers in your ear, why are you wasting time when you haven't reached your goal yet? Hunger makes you close the door, turn off the noise, and give your energy to the grind. When you're hungry, your attention doesn't scatter, it concentrates. And when all of your energy is concentrated in one direction, success becomes inevitable. Look at the greatest athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the most powerful leaders. They all had one thing in common: hunger gave them focus. Kobe Bryant wasn't in the club during the off season. He was in the gym at 4 a.m. shooting shots. Why? Because hunger wouldn't let him sleep. Steve Jobs wasn't chasing 100 different business ideas. He was focused on creating technology that changed the world. Hunger cut away all the extra noise and locked them in on what mattered most. That's why they got results while other people just got excuses. Focus is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing. And hunger helps you figure out what the right thing is. When you're not hungry, everything looks good. You dabble in this, you dabble in that. You say yes to things that don't even serve you. But when you're hungry, you become selective. You understand that your time, your energy, your focus are valuable resources, and you can't waste them on things that don't bring you closer to your goal. Hunger sharpens your vision. It shows you the difference between distractions and opportunities. It makes you ruthless about saying no to the things that don't serve you, so you can give everything to the things that do. Here's the truth. Focus doesn't come naturally. Focus is born out of hunger. If you're not hungry enough, you'll always find a reason to give your attention to something else. You'll sit down to work, and suddenly scrolling through social media feels more important. You'll plan to study, and suddenly cleaning your room feels urgent. That's not focus. That's the absence of hunger. Because when you're starving, nothing else feels more important than feeding that hunger. Hunger takes control of your priorities. Hunger makes you obsessed. And obsession is what produces greatness. Ask yourself, what are you truly hungry for? Are you hungry for that degree? Or are you just interested in it? Are you hungry for that business? Or are you just entertaining the idea? Are you hungry for greatness? Or are you satisfied with comfort? Because your hunger determines your focus, and your focus determines your future. If you're not focused right now, it's because you're not hungry enough. The moment you get hungry, you'll stop making excuses. The moment you get hungry, you'll stop wasting time. The moment you get hungry, your eyes will lock on your goals, and you won't stop until you get there. When you're hungry for success, you don't get distracted by the opinions of others. People will laugh at you, doubt you, it's impossible. But hunger blocks out the noise. Hunger doesn't need validation. Hunger doesn't need validation. Hunger doesn't need applause. Hunger is its own fuel. When you're focused, you don't need people to believe in you. You believe in yourself. And that belief, that hunger keeps you grinding when nobody's watching, when nobody's cheering, when nobody even knows your name. Because deep down, if you stay hungry, if you stay focused, sooner or later, the world will have no choice but to notice. So if you want to change your life, stop playing with hunger. Get focused. Cut out the distraction. Lock in on your goal like your life depends on it. Because it does. Hunger creates focus. And focus will take you where average will never go. Excuses are the #1 killers of dreams, and the truth is, if you're hungry enough, you don't have time to make them. When you're really starving for success, your mind doesn't even go to excuses, it goes straight to solutions. People who aren't hungry can always explain why they didn't get something done. I was tired. I didn't have enough time. I don't have the right resources. Nobody supports me. But listen to me, when you're hungry, none of that matters. Hunger takes away the option of giving up. Hunger takes away the option of delaying. Hunger doesn't let you stop at the first obstacle. When you're really hungry, you'll do whatever it takes because nothing feels worse than being empty. Think about it. If someone locked you in a room and you hadn't eaten for days, you wouldn't be saying, I wish the door was easier to open. You wouldn't be sitting down complaining that the food isn't coming fast enough. You would be clawing at the walls, breaking through, fighting with everything inside of you until you found a way to get out. That's what hunger does. It makes you resourceful. It makes you creative. It makes you relentless. But when you're comfortable, you always have time to justify why you didn't win. Excuses are nothing more than comfort disguised as logic. Hunger burns that comfort away and forces you into action. Too many people never reach their potential because they let excuses run their lives. I didn't grow up in the right neighborhood. I didn't get the best education. I don't know the right people. But some of the most successful people in the world started with less than you. They didn't have money, they didn't have connections, they didn't have advantages. The only thing they had was hunger. And that hunger killed every excuse. They didn't say, I can't. They said, I must. They didn't say, I've tried. They said, I'll find a way. Excuses close doors, but hunger forces them open. You see, excuses give you permission to stay average. Excuses are comfortable. Excuses let you sleep in. Excuses let you quit early. Excuses make you feel safe because they give you a reason for your lack of progress. But hunger doesn't let you settle. Hunger doesn't let you sleep until the job is done. Hunger doesn't let you rest until you've given your all. When you're hungry, you don't say, I can't, because you say, I will no matter what. And that's the difference between people who succeed and people who don't. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's hunger. Some of you have dreams that you've been carrying for years, but every time it's time to act, you give yourself an excuse. You say, I don't have the money. But guess what? Somebody out there started with less money than you and built an empire. You say, I'm at the time. But somebody else works 2 jobs, takes care of a family, and still finds the time to grind on their dream. You say, I don't know where to start. But somebody out there didn't know where to start either. And instead of letting that excuse stop them, they started messy, they started small, they started imperfect. And changed their life. The truth is, excuses sound best to the person making them. And if you're serious about success, you got to stop listening to yourself and start pushing yourself. Hunger kills excuses because hunger doesn't give you space to rationalize failure. Imagine being so hungry you haven't eaten for days. You're not going to sit there saying, I'd eat. Oh, I'd eat, but the restaurant's too far. I'd eat, but the menu doesn't look perfect. No, you're going to walk, run, crawl, beg, hustle, whatever it takes to get that food. That's how success works. When you're hungry, you don't sit around waiting for the perfect condition. You don't wait for someone to give you permission. You don't wait for it to feel easy. You move because you can't afford not to. Excuses are for the people who aren't hungry enough. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the price of admission to success. But most people run from pain. They treat it like a signal to stop, like it's the universe telling them to quit. The truth is, pain is proof that you're moving, proof that you're stretching, proof that you're growing. When you're hungry, pain doesn't make you quit. Pain becomes your fuel. You learn to take that burning, that exhaustion, that struggle, and you flip it into energy that drives you forward. If you've ever been hungry for food, you know that pain in your stomach makes you move faster, makes you look harder, makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. The same thing happens with success. When you're hungry, the pain isn't a punishment. It's a pushment, it's a push. People who aren't hungry see pain as a stop sign. The moment it gets difficult, they walk away. They say, it's too hard, it's too much, it hurts too bad. But those who are hungry understand that pain is part of the process. A bodybuilder doesn't grow muscle without feeling that burn in the gym. A student doesn't pass the exam without the late nights and the headaches from studying. An entrepreneur doesn't build a business without the stress, the sleepless nights, the rejection. Pain is the toll you pay on the road to greatness. If you're hungry, you don't complain about the toll. You pay it gladly because you know what's waiting for you on the other side. Think about it. When you work out and feel the soreness in your body, that's not weakness leaving. That's growth entering. It's growth entering. When you put in hours and feel exhausted, that's not a signal you're failing. That's a sign you're building endurance. Pain sharpens you. Pain toughens you. Pain molds you into someone who can handle the weight of success. The reason so many people never reach their goals is because they're not willing to endure the pain that comes with them. They want the rewards without the struggle, the harvest without the labor, the victory without the fight. But hunger changes that. Hunger makes you embrace the struggle because you know it's the struggle that gives success its value. I want you to think about your life right now. Every painful moment you survived, every hardship you've gone through, every trial you've overcome, it made you stronger. It made you wiser. It gave you tools you wouldn't have had otherwise. Some of your greatest lessons came wrapped in pain. Some of your deepest growth came wrapped in struggle. That breakup taught you resilience. That failure taught you strategy. That rejection taught you patience. Pain was never there to destroy you. It was there to develop you. And if you're hungry, you use that pain as fuel to keep going harder, faster, stronger. The truth is, hunger and pain go hand in hand. When you're hungry for success, you're willing to endure pain that others run from. While they're saying, it hurts too much, you're saying, this is exactly what I need. While they're quitting, you're pushing. While they're avoiding the discomfort, you're diving straight into it. Hunger rewires your relationship with pain. Instead of seeing it as suffering, you see it as preparation. Instead of seeing it as punishment, you see it as progress. And once you shift your mindset like that, nothing can stop you. Because let's be real, success hurts. Waking up at 4 a.m. hurts. Grinding all day and still not seeing immediate results hurts. Hearing no after no after a no after a no hurts. Failing, having to start over hurts. But every bit of that pain is building you. Every bit of that pain is proof that you're on the right path. Comfort never created champion. Ease never built empires. Struggle is the soil where greatness grows. And hunger is what makes you willing to plant yourself in that soil and stay there until you bloom. Don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you pain feels good. It doesn't. It burns, it breaks, it makes you want to cry sometimes. But being hungry means you don't need it to feel good to use it. Being hungry means you can take the worst days, the hardest nights, and still keep moving forward. Being hungry means you can take the rejection and turn it into motivation. Being hungry means you can take the failure and turn it into wisdom. You don't let the pain define you. You let it refine you. So the next time it hurts, don't run from it. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this building me? How can I use this to push me closer to my goal? Because that pain you're feeling is temporary. But the success it's building will last forever. And when you finally get there, when you finally taste the victory, the pain will be the very thing that makes it sweeter. Hunger doesn't just teach you to survive the pain. It teaches you to thrive because of it. You can't be hungry for success and comfortable at the same time. That's the truth most people don't want to accept. Success has a price tag, and the currency is sacrifice. If you want to climb high, you've got to be willing to give up the things that weigh you down. But the problem is, most people want success while still holding on to comfort, distractions, and bad habits. They want to eat at the table of greatness, but they don't want to give up the fast food of laziness. Hunger doesn't let you live like that. Hunger demands sacrifice. Hunger forces you to look at what you're doing with your time, your energy, your relationships, and ask, what's holding me back from my next level? And once you identify it, you've got to be willing to let it go. Look at any champion, any leader, any person who achieved greatness. Every single one of them had to sacrifice something. Some sacrificed sleep, some sacrificed parties, some sacrificed comfort zones, some sacrificed relationships that didn't align with their vision. They all had to cut out something to make space for success. Because here's the truth. You can't hold on to average and grab greatness at the same time. Your hands aren't big enough. You gotta let go of one to reach for the other. And hunger is what makes you strong enough to let go. Hunger whispers to you, This is not helping you. This is costing you. This is blocking you. Hunger makes you uncomfortable staying the same. The reason most people never get what they want in life isn't because they lack talent or intelligence. It's because they refuse to sacrifice. They cling to their comfort like it's more valuable than their future. They say, I want success, but they're not willing to sacrifice sleeping in. They say, I want to be great, but they're not willing to sacrifice hanging out all night. They say, I want freedom, but they're not willing to sacrifice the temporary pleasure that keeps them trapped. Hunger is the difference maker. Hunger says, I'd rather sacrifice now and shine later than enjoy now and regret later. Hunger makes you think long-term, not short-term. Hunger makes you put your future over your feelings. Sacrifice is not easy. That's why most people avoid it. It hurts to say no to comfort. It hurts to cut off relationships that don't support your vision. It hurts to discipline yourself when everybody else is relaxing. But remember this, sacrifice is never about loss. It's about exchange. You're not just giving something up. You're trading it for something better. You're trading sleep for progress. You're trading parties for preparation. You're trading distraction for destiny. You're trading average for greatness. Hunger keeps you focused on the trade-off instead of the pain. Hunger reminds you, this isn't forever, but the reward will be. Think about an athlete in training. While their friends are out eating fast food, they're sticking to a strict diet. While their peers are sleeping, they're running laps before the sun comes up. While others are enjoying themselves, they're sweating, pushing, sacrificing. And when game day comes, the difference shows. The sacrifice pays off. That hunger that drove them to give up temporary pleasures is the same hunger that fuels their victory. It's the same in every area of life. Sacrifice now, shine later. Some of you are being held hostage by things you need to let go of. Maybe it's your phone, endless hours scrolling that rob you of focus. Maybe it's toxic friendships that drain your energy and kill your ambition. Maybe it's bad habits like procrastination or self-doubt. Whatever it is, hunger demands you cut it off. You can't afford to let it stay. You can't keep saying you want success while entertaining the very things that keep you stuck. Hunger won't let you stay divided. Hunger forces you to choose. Yes, sacrifice is painful. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but the pain of sacrifice is always less than the pain of regret. Regret is a heavy burden, one that never leaves. Sacrifice is temporary. Regret is permanent. Hunger makes you choose the temporary pain of sacrifice over the lifelong pain of regret. Hunger makes you say, I'll pay the price now so I can enjoy the prize later. So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice sleep? Are you willing to sacrifice your pride? Are you willing to sacrifice the approval of people who don't even live your life? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort today so you can live in freedom tomorrow? Because success won't show up until sacrifice does. Hunger will always put you in a position where you have to choose. And if you're truly hungry, you'll always choose to let go of comfort to grab hold of destiny. Hunger knows you can't hold on to comfort and climb. Anybody can get motivated for a day. Anybody can grind for a week. But consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. Hunger is what drives consistency. Because motivation fades, inspiration comes and goes. But when you're hungry, you don't need to wait for a good mood. You don't need to wait for the perfect conditions. You don't need to wait until it feels right. Hunger makes you show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is watching, even when the results aren't visible yet. Hunger doesn't operate on emotions. Hunger operates on commitment. The problem is, most people live life on feelings. If they feel motivated, they move. If they don't feel motivated, they quit. If the weather's good, they go work out. If the weather's bad, they stay home. If they see progress, they keep going. If they don't see progress, they stop. That's not how greatness is built. That's not how champions are made. Consistency doesn't come from feelings. It comes from hunger. Hunger says, I don't care how I feel. I don't care what it looks like. I'm showing up because my dream depends on it. Look at the farmer. He plants seeds and waters the ground every single day. He doesn't dig it up after 2 weeks and say, where's my harvest? This isn't working. No, he stays consistent because he knows the process works if he doesn't quit. Your dreams work the same way. You gotta water them with daily discipline, daily effort, daily focus. Hunger makes you keep watering even when you can't see anything sprouting yet. Hunger tells you, stay consistent. The harvest is coming. The truth is, success is rarely about one big moment. Success is about small, disciplined actions repeated over and over again until they compound into greatness, It's the writer who shows up to write every morning, even when the words don't come easy. It's the athlete who trains every day, even when they don't feel like practicing. It's the student who studies consistently, even when they'd rather be out with friends. Hunger keeps you locked in long enough for consistency to build momentum. And momentum is what changes everything. When you're hungry, you understand that one day of effort won't change your life, but thousands of days of consistent effort will. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop chasing instant gratification. You stop expecting overnight success. Hunger gives you patience to keep building brick by brick, day after day, until the foundation of your dream is unshakable. Hunger makes you fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. Because when you're hungry, the process is how you feed yourself. The grind after self becomes satisfying. Some people quit because they think consistency is boring. They want excitement, variety, something new all the time. But hunger doesn't get bored. Hunger doesn't need entertainment. Hunger finds joy in the repetition because hunger knows repetition is the mother of mastery. Shooting thousands of shots in the gym might feel repetitive, but that's what builds champions. Writing page after page might feel boring, but that's what creates authors. Practicing the same moves might feel dull, but that's what turns amateurs into professionals. Hunger is what keeps you disciplined enough to do the boring work until it becomes powerful work. Consistency isn't about perfection. You don't have to get it right every time. You don't have to win every day, but you do have to show up every day. Hunger makes you keep showing up even after you fall. Hunger makes you get back on track even after you miss a day. Hunger doesn't let you use failure as an excuse to quit. Hunger says, okay, you stumbled. Get up. Keep going. Don't stop. Because consistency isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. When you're truly hungry, you don't count the days. You make the days count. You don't wake up and ask, do I feel like working today? You wake up and say, it doesn't matter how I feel, I've work to do. Hunger kills procrastination. Hunger silences excuses. Hunger turns discipline into a lifestyle. And over time, that consistency builds confidence, and that confidence builds results. Think about the people you admire most. They didn't get there because they tried once and gave up. They didn't get there because they had one good week. They got there because they were consistent. Day after day, year after year, they kept grinding. Their hunger was bigger than their comfort, bigger than their excuses, bigger than their feelings. That's why they won. If you want to win, you got to get hungry enough to be consistent. You got to be willing to wake up early, stay up late, practice when nobody's watching, work when nobody's cheering. You got to be willing to stay in the game long after others have quit. Because success doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't come to the smartest. It doesn't come to the luckiest. When you're hungry, people can see it before you even open your mouth. Hunger has an energy, a presence, a vibration that cannot be ignored. When you're really hungry for success, you move differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself differently. You don't have to announce it. People feel it. And that hunger, that fire inside of you starts to attract opportunities. It draws the right people, the right chances, the right doors to you because hunger is magnetic. Opportunity is looking for somebody who's ready, somebody who's relentless, somebody who won't waste it. And when you're hungry, you become that person. Think about it. Nobody wants to invest in someone who's half committed, someone who's lukewarm, someone who says they want success, but their actions don't line up with their words. People aren't attracted to average. People are attracted to drive. They're attracted to hunger. When a coach is scouting athletes, they don't just look for talent, they look for hunger. When a company is hiring, they don't just look for skills, they look for hunger. Because hunger means you'll keep growing. Hunger means you won't give up. Hunger means you'll squeeze every drop out of the opportunity. That's why hunger attracts opportunities others never even see. Opportunities are like seeds. They don't grow in every type of soil. They grow in the soil of hunger, discipline, and persistence, and persistence. Some people get opportunities and lose them because they weren't hungry enough to handle them. They didn't take it seriously. They procrastinated. They let fear or comfort get in the way. But the hungry, they grab that opportunity with both hands and refuse to let go. They water it, they protect it, they nurture it, and they multiply it. Hunger makes you ready not only to receive opportunities, but to maximize them. The truth is, opportunities often show up disguised as hard work. They don't always come wrapped in shiny packages. Sometimes an opportunity looks like a tough assignment. Sometimes it looks like extra responsibility. Sometimes it looks like a small door. That doesn't seem like much. But hunger allows you to see what others miss. Hunger makes you say, I'll take it. I'll do it. I'll show up. And once you do, that small door leads to a bigger door. And that bigger door leads to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Hunger doesn't wait for the perfect opportunity. Hunger creates opportunities out of whatever is available. People notice hunger. When you show up early, stay late, go the extra mile, people can't help but see it. They might not say anything at first, but they're watching. They're paying attention. And eventually, they'll open a door for you because they know you'll respect it. That's how promotions happen. That's how connections happen. That's how partnerships happen. Not because you're the most talented, not because you're the most experienced, but because you're the hungriest. Hunger is the great equalizer. It gives ordinary people extraordinary chances because the world always makes room for the person who refuses to quit. But understand this, hunger doesn't just attract opportunity, it prepares you for them. An opportunity is useless if you're not ready to handle it. Too many people pray for big breaks but don't prepare for them. They want the spotlight but don't practice in the dark. They want the stage but don't rehearse behind closed doors. Hunger keeps you grinding in private, so when the opportunity comes in public, you're ready to deliver. Hunger makes sure you don't embarrass yourself when the moment arrives, because opportunity without preparation is wasted. Hunger makes sure you're never caught unprepared. And let's be clear, hunger attracts both people and resources. When you're hungry, you attract mentors because they see their younger selves in you. When you're hungry, you attract investors because they trust you won't waste their money. When you're hungry, you attract teammates because people want to be around energy, passion, and drive. Hunger is contagious. It spreads to everyone around you, and soon you're not just attracting opportunities for yourself, you're creating opportunities for others. That's the power of staying hungry. Some of you keep saying, I never get a break. Nobody notices me. Opportunities never come my way. The truth is, opportunities don't come to people who sit and wait. They come to people who work like they're already chosen. They come to people who act like they belong in the room before they ever get invited. Hunger puts you in a position to be seen. Hunger makes you visible. Hunger turns your grind into a spotlight that no one can ignore. The difference between someone who misses opportunities and someone who attracts them isn't luck, it's hunger. Hunger keeps you alert. Hunger keeps you sharp. Hunger keeps you moving. Hunger makes you say yes when others say no. Hunger makes you knock on doors until one finally opens. Hunger is not something you satisfy once and then put away. Real hunger never ends. It doesn't matter how much you achieve, how much you win, how much you collect. The moment you lose your hunger, you start losing your edge. The people who rise to greatness and stay there are the ones who never allow themselves to get comfortable. They celebrate their victories, but they don't care about that. They don't let success make them soft. Hunger keeps them moving forward, keeps them climbing, keeps them chasing the next level. Because once you stop being hungry, you start settling. And settling is the beginning of decline. Think about the athlete who wins a championship. If they lose their hunger, they won't repeat. If they let comfort creep in, if they stop pushing, if they stop grinding, someone hungrier will take their spot. That's why dynasties are built on hunger. It's not talent alone. It's not resources alone. It's that relentless hunger to keep proving yourself, to keep getting better, to keep reaching for more. Success can trick you into thinking the work is done, but hunger reminds you there's always another mountain to climb, always another level to reach. The truth is, hunger is what keeps life exciting. Without hunger, you get bored. Without hunger, you get lazy. Without hunger, you lose your drive and purpose. The most dangerous place you can be is not at the bottom. it's at the top without hunger. Because when you're at the bottom, hunger is natural. You're fighting to get out. But when you reach a certain level of success, hunger has to be chosen. You have to deliberately wake up every day and decide not to settle. You have to manufacture hunger even when you could relax. That's the secret of the greats. They find a way to stay hungry even when they've already eaten. Hunger never ends because growth never ends. There's always more to learn, always more to build, always more to give. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. Hunger is what keeps you alive, keeps you evolving, keeps you relevant. The world changes fast. And if you're not hungry enough to adapt, to reinvent, to improve, you'll get left behind. Hunger doesn't let you rely on yesterday's success. Hunger makes you create new victories today. Look at people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams. They weren't satisfied with one win, one trophy, one title. They kept coming back, season after season, hungrier than before. Every victory was fuel, not fulfillment. Every achievement made them hungrier, not softer. That's the mindset you gotta have. Success should feed your hunger, not kill it. Ooh. Every time you win, it should make you want to win again, to win bigger, to win better. Hunger is not a destination, it's a lifestyle. But here's the challenge. Most people think hunger ends once they make it. They tell themselves, when I get the degree, I'll relax. When I make the money, I'll stop grinding. When I reach this level, I'll take it easy. That's why they never maintain what they build. Hunger can't be conditional. Hunger can't be temporary. If you want lasting success, you gotta be hungry forever. You've gotta keep the same fire you had when you had nothing, even after you have everything. Hunger also changes over time. At first, you might be hungry for survival, to pay your bills, to make a name, to prove yourself. But once you've done that, hunger has to evolve. Now you're hungry to master your craft, hungry to expand your influence, hungry to leave a legacy. Hunger grows with you, and if it doesn't, you shrink. Hunger keeps you from getting stuck in one season of your life. It pushes you into the next one. And let's be real, staying hungry isn't easy. Comfort will always try to creep in. People around you will tell you to slow down, to relax, to settle. You'll be tempted to rest on what you've done. That's why you've got to protect your hunger. You've got to remind yourself daily of your vision, your purpose, your mission. You've got to set new goals the moment you reach old ones. You've got to surround yourself with people who push you, not people who let you settle. Hunger thrives in environments of challenge and growth, not comfort and ease. So don't let your hunger die comfort and ease. So don't let your hunger die. Don't let success put you to sleep. Stay hungry for more, hungry for growth, hungry for greatness, hungry for impact. Because hunger is what keeps you alive, keeps you sharp, keeps you moving. The day you stop being hungry is the day you stop becoming better. And as long as you're breathing, there's more inside of you, more to give, more to build, more to achieve. Hunger never ends. And if you want to live a life of greatness, neither can yours.